One is just about 7:01, and it's now time for the morning watch brought to us by the AIM Financial Corporation.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org, and if you're overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541. Or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, it's an amnesty, or it's not an amnesty. What really is it? And in the second watch, a cadet academy, a solution to the problems faced by disadvantaged youngsters. For our social media question, we ask, what are your thoughts on this amnesty, not an amnesty debate? We're asking you to share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's our quote.
Good morning, good morning. So this morning's I quote is actually an island quote, and it says, "The tan will fade, but the memories will last forever." And it's by an unknown person, but we don't, but that is the quote for today.
Good morning, Joker.
Good morning, Sir Toussaint. How are you?
I am doing well, and you, my brother?
I'm all right, I'm all right.
Speaking about memories, did you watch live that memorable World Cup match on Sunday, or were you in church worshiping God?
I was in church, but I was in the office watching the match at the same time.
Hold on,
Lord Jesus.
Say that slowly, let me make sure I hear you clearly.
No, man. I think I have to go to a break. No. Nah, trick me.
You know what? Talk about it on the air. All right, the first watch me back after this break.
Tired of the high interest rates and the whole heap of loan payments every month? Take a debt consolidation loan from AIM to pay credit card bills and all other high interest rate loans from other institutions. Make one low monthly payment to AIM and take home some extra money in your pocket. That's financial freedom. One loan, one low payment, more money in your pocket. Call AIM today to lower your loan payment. And remember, you won't find a better deal elsewhere. Guaranteed.
Importers. The Jamaica Customs Agency is making its contactless clearance process for non-commercial shipments available until January 6, 2023. This will enable you to clear your cargo without having to visit a warehouse to do a physical inspection. Here are your options. You may request contactless clearance through your freight forwarder. Your freight forwarder may offer contactless clearance to you. Your agent will indicate if you've been selected under the contactless clearance process. Importers, use contactless clearance and avoid the wait. For further details, email contactlessclearance@jca.gov.jm. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
You want it all this Christmas? Me say you want it all this Christmas. Well, have a Merry Christmas. First you want automotive crew. Have a Merry Christmas with GWM. With GWM. The game changer in SUV. Have a Merry Christmas. From now until December 31, when you purchase any GWM vehicle, enjoy $300,000 off. What? $300,000 off? 6 years warranty. The best warranty in Jamaica. And 3 years free servicing. Only available at Stuart Automotive Group, South End Road, Kingston, and Iron Shore Bay. Conditions apply.
Let's give ourselves the best gift yet. Great mobile and internet. Value the whole year long. Gotta know the best to get. Flow has savings just for you. Give great Christmas gifts, it's true. Samsung tablet for my boo. Our moments together with Flow Yard and Road, it's better. This Christmas, Flow gives the best to you.
With Yard and Road, get a Samsung tablet or a phone for just $999 plus GCT.
Flow gives the best to you.
Conditions apply. Juicy beef patty sweet like sugar, not tell no lie. When me eat it, me feel like me want fly. From me a little youth, I eat me a buy. Juicy beef patty to the day I die. A little bit when the patty them hot, scratch me tongue and make me want cry. As the patty done one more me a ball.
You say one more juicy beef patty for me, please.
Juicy beef patty that I love. Juicy beef patty that the people them love. Juicy beef patty that I love.
Everything juicy for me. I'm a juicy
beef patty. Hey my peeps, get this on the regular. Your HIV status if you consider. The least of a test once a year. Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Cause it might not show up on your timeline and you learn too late, so you're out of time. A progressive future, mandatory. Really long life, our story. You hear?
Remember, update your status in a real life. Go HIV test today.
Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Really long life, our story. Real long life. Coming from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
February 12, 2023, it's a Sagicor Sigma 25th Legacy Run. 25 years of running for a cause. Let's make this the biggest and the best as we raise funds for the pediatric unit of the University Hospital of the West Indies and Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts. Registration is now open. Sagicor Sigma 25th Legacy Run, February 12. Run for the fun. Donate for the cause. Register now.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, before the end of last week, and maybe even now, many Jamaicans were left confused. Is there a ticket amnesty or not? And if it were an amnesty, it would be deemed a victory for taxi operators. And if not, then what was it? Well, to address this ongoing debate and other related issues, we have joining us online Mr. Gavin Goff, attorney at law and a partner in the law firm Myers, Fletcher and Gordon, as well as Mr. Dennis Chung, social commentator. Good morning to you both.
Hi, morning.
Good morning, Dylan. Good morning to you, listeners.
Great. Good to have you with us. Gentlemen, well, compliments of the season to you both, first of all.
Thank you.
Greetings, my brother.
Great. Now, what is your understanding of the government's press release, the expunging of demerit points last week, Tuesday, etc., etc.? So beginning with you, Mr. Chung. What's your understanding of it?
Well, it is effectively an amnesty. An amnesty is, some forgiveness, something like that. And if you're going to expunge tickets, if you're going to extend the payments that are due, which has been extended anyway, by them not paying it, then effectively what you have is an amnesty. We're talking about, so.
And when you say amnesty, what do you understand amnesty to be, Mr. Chung? Because we hear this word branded about. What is it really?
Yeah, well, by my definition, you're basically giving someone some reprieve, from something that they're responsible for. So if you think about it from the point of view of a gun amnesty, someone who has an illegal gun, and you're saying to them, during this time, whatever time is defined, I will not enforce the law. If you were to carry it in or carry it in under certain circumstances. So effectively, that's what it is. It's really a reprieve from what the normal penalties would be.
Yeah. And your take on that, Mr. Goff?
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a reprieve. It's an undertaking that if you do a certain thing, you will not suffer the penalty or the consequences for so doing. And it doesn't mean that you don't have to suffer any kind of penalty, but certainly if any portion of the penalty has been relieved or taken off the table, it most certainly is an amnesty. And in fact, in the traffic ticket amnesties that we have had in the past, they have had two elements. One is that you should pay the money associated with the fine, and the other is that you would be relieved of the demerit points associated with that offense, which could therefore allow you to continue driving, where if the demerit points had not been expunged, your license could have been suspended or liable to be revoked entirely.
Yes. How does one, therefore, Mr. Goff, explain, the government representatives who seem to have been trying to tell us that it's not an amnesty? Both of you are saying it is. I know that you perhaps have different views on other aspects of this whole thing. But why is it, how does one explain that from your vantage point, Mr. Goff?
Well, of course, I think you'd have to ask the explanation given so far that the matter is still going to go to the court is really neither here nor there. All you have done is essentially convert it from being a fixed fine, a fixed penalty payable at the tax office, to being a penalty which may be imposed by the traffic court judge. But at the end of the day, if you go to court and you plead guilty, and you are relieved of the merit points, that traffic court judge can't suspend your license as far as I can see. It can't remove you from the roads. And I think there was a belief, an erroneous belief on part of certain ministers of government, that the judge could take away someone's license or suspend them from driving, even if the merit points were not part of the equation. And from my review of the law, I don't see how that is possible. The law very clearly says that the judge can do that based upon the accumulation of points, but not.
Yeah. Mr. Chong, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Goff.
No, I would think at the end of the day, I think that the government will be tying the judge's hands anyway. So I don't understand why they say it's not
yeah. Mr. Chong, could it be that the government did not think it through properly before making this thing public on that Tuesday night?
Well, I'm not a sociologist or a psychologist, so I can't speak to that. But the fact of the matter is that it is, I don't know what the reasons were for saying that, but it effectively is. And there's nothing wrong with new information coming to you and you changing your mind, but as far as I'm concerned, there was no other alternative but to do the amnesty, from a practical point of view.
Say more on that, Mr. Chong. No other alternative?
Yeah.
Why you say that?
The law, as it is, and people were to accumulate the demerit points, and by virtue of accumulating it, getting their license suspended, and a few drivers can't drive, then what's going to happen to the transportation system? And that's what I've always maintained, that from a practical point of view, because we have created this environment where we have allowed people to run afoul of the law and accumulated all of these wrongdoers.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Chong. Could us hold that very important thought. We're up on a break. We're right back.
Get better coverage for yourself and your family as low as $800 a month. The time by JN Life Vest from JN Life Insurance is
7:15, and you're listening to Love 101, the family station.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&B Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home.
a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. JN Bank will help you find a way.
This Christmas, switch to Flow and get a free 30-day unlimited plan with so much more. Get unlimited social, YouTube, Spotify, talk and text, plus 10 extra gigs for TikTok and more. That's all the data you could need to share every moment of your Christmas with family and friends. So much data, so much social, and so much joy this Christmas. Switch to Flow for a free unlimited 30-day plan plus an extra 10 gigs of data for TikTok and more. Switch to Flow and keep your number. Conditions apply.
Learning about credit cards. There's a lot to learn about credit cards, but here are some frequently used terms to help you on your journey. APR. This is the interest rate for outstanding amounts expressed as an annual percentage rate. Annual fee. This is a fee cardholders are charged every year for having the facility of a credit card. This financial literacy tip was brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
You work hard to make Jamaica a first-class destination. Isn't it time you receive the 5-star benefits? Retire smarter with the Tourism Workers Pension Scheme, a portable plan that also provides your family with financial security in case of your untimely death. It's easy, affordable, and accessible online. Retire and relax with the Tourism Workers Pension Scheme. Visit twps.myguardiangroup.com or call 876-927-4105. Guardian Life. Live secure. Live easy.
His Worship the Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, and the KSAMC invite all residents to attend the city's Christmas tree lighting ceremony and massive concert, St. William Grant Park, downtown Kingston, Tuesday, December 20, 6:30 p.m. with Kevin Downswell, Jermaine Edwards, Sister Pat Kukudu, Tivoli Dance Troupe, KC Chapel Choir, and many more surprise acts. Take the children to enjoy the Kiddies Village from midday with rides and enough giveaways. Admission is free, so bring the entire family. It's a City of Kingston's tree lighting ceremony and concert inside St. William Grant Park, Tuesday, December 20, 6:30 p.m. Come out early and see you there.
Bible Society of the West Indies, located at 24 Hadley Park Plaza, is hosting its annual pre-Christmas sale commencing Monday, December 12th. Special discounted prices on most items in stock, from Bibles to books, water bottles to communion sets, purse shawls to key rings, and so much more. It will also host its Customer Appreciation Week from Monday, December 19 to Saturday, December 24. We look forward to seeing you. Telephone number 876-339-3501. We are open from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on weekdays and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this, the first watch, we're looking on the announced, expunging of the merit points for drivers with outstanding tickets that was released from the government last week. And we are asking, is it an amnesty or is it not? Our guests are Mr. Gavin Goff, attorney at law, partner in the law firm Myers, Fletcher, and Gordon, and Mr. Dennis Chung, social commentator. And before the break, Mr. Chung, I think you were saying that the government really had no other alternative but to implement this amnesty.
Yeah. What I'm saying from a practical point of view, if you had enough persons not being able to drive in the system, then it means that you could have another crisis in the transport sector, because what we have done is we've created a public transportation system that depends on illegal people, which are these deviant taximen going all around the place, because we have failed to invest in the JUTC, as our own public transportation system, and we've been very short-sighted with it, because the approach has been in Parliament, the JUTC lose $2 or $4 billion when it cost us tens of billions of dollars not to have a good public transportation system in place. What I agreed with the government with, though, is that, and I said it to Edgerton also, that I do not think there should be any talks while they're on strike, right? So in order to show goodwill and come to the table, you have to come off of that industrial action first, and start behaving yourself before you do that. So I agree with that, but I don't think there was an alternative really. I mean, the fact of the matter is that we have created a system by lack of policy and, or I should say bad policy, that has basically, created this public transportation system that's very inefficient, creates a lot of unproductivity, and we've refused to do anything about it for decades. And that's why we're here today. So, you don't blame the taxman for a system you have created. People act based on what they can get away with in a free market. And that's just it.
No alternatives. Mr. Goff, you agree with that?
Boy, Dennis, I can't agree with you on that one at all. We need to bear in mind that in the last 10 years, I think there have been 2 amnesties. The most recent one, I think, was in 2017 or 2018, thereabout. So I agree that there would, and the last time when they had the last amnesty, the announcement was made. I remember Delroy Chuck and others saying that, the government is going to clamp down for real this time. No more amnesties after this one. Last. And if the government and administration had been believed that this would be the last amnesty, then we wouldn't be in this particular problem at all. But the fact is that I think the taxi operators, public passenger vehicle operators, had a reasonable suspicion based on precedent that this wouldn't be the last amnesty, that they would be able to do it again, and that there would be no consequences for their votes. And if, in fact, as the government has
Mr. Goff?
Yeah, we lost him. I'm not hearing him either.
Yeah, Mr. Goff, we're not hearing you. All right. We heard his response in the initial stage here. Mr. Chung, you have any response to that?
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is that, the reason why we're in the situation here today, as he said, is that we've done an amnesty before, but we've failed to correct what caused the amnesty. And that's the issue, which is the same situation with the gun amnesty. We've failed to correct over the years, right, over the decades, what has caused amnesties in the first place. So if any reasonable person, or a person who thinks logically, if you see that the same system persists that caused an amnesty, you're going to expect that the amnesty is going to arise again. I think that this time, based on my conversation, what I've seen, I think that it might be different this time. We see efforts being made, for example, by the police under Gary McKenzie, but there's not enough teeth for them to bite with, right? I think the Road Traffic Amendment Act, which has been in Parliament for over 10 years without being effective, which is, that in itself is really, disastrous. How can you have a piece of legislation that is supposed to save lives sitting in the Parliament of the land for over 10 years and not being effective? If we were able to pass that legislation and it saved 10% of lives every year, would have saved 500 lives over those 10 years, And this
of
is
course,
the issue.
you're referring to the new Road Traffic Act.
The Road Traffic Act, right? And this is the issue, right? Now, I think that this time we will see some changes with it. I think that there is enough will right now. People are fed up enough and people want to see the change. And I think we will see the change this time, right? And, I support the stance that's been taken by the government. And I can tell you, I have been disgusted by the taxman myself, right? But just from a practical point of view, right? You can't say to someone, this is like, I use this example all the while. You have a child and you do everything to spoil that child. And when that child is not behaving properly at 20, you say, listen, you have to face the consequences of everything you're doing now. You have created that situation.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done with the transportation system.
Yes, Mr. Goff is back.
Yes, I am back. If I could just say, in response to that I understand the thinking that Dennis has. Challenge I have is that the government hasn't said that. The government has not said that the reason why. Well, first of all, they haven't said they're giving an amnesty at all. But they haven't come out and said that the reason why we have to do this is because it will adversely affect the transportation sector, or that we essentially have not been enforcing it over all these years, and therefore that's why we need to do this. What they've been saying erroneously is that it's because of the glitches in the system where demerit points were not being essentially automatically falling away after time, why they had to do this kind of take this measure. But there are two problems with that argument. The first is that under our law, demerit points are not accumulated by people who do not pay their tickets. There's only way that you get a demerit point is if you either A, pay your ticket, or B, you go to a traffic court and are either plead guilty or are found guilty. So the persons who pay their traffic tickets, who aren't in need of an amnesty, are the ones who have been suffering in relation to the glitches with the demerit points.
So you're saying that this is sending the wrong message to those people?
Not only that, I'm saying that it is a misrepresenting who the true victims are. The people who have accumulated all these tickets don't have a single demerit point because they haven't paid them. It is the people who are not benefiting from the amnesty, the ones who pay their tickets on time, and who, it seems, will not have their demerit points expunged because they can't take advantage of an amnesty because they've paid their tickets. And I do believe that if the government goes through with this present plan of expunging only demerit points, or not expunging the demerit points in respect of people who have gotten tickets and paid them after February 2018, they have not only a problem of legitimacy and the message they've sent, they could actually have a lawsuit on their hands for essentially treating people differently, not treating people equally in the eyes of the law.
So it is a possible case in court over this?
There is no justification, in my humble opinion, for the reason for the amnesty. Let's not call it an amnesty. If the reason for it is that there's been glitches in the system, those glitches would have affected everybody. And in fact, it would not have affected the ones who are now benefiting from the amnesty.
Mr. Chung, what do you think?
No, I agree. I totally agree with Gavin. And
he said a lot. You agree with all that he said?
yeah, man. I agree with him. And from the legal point of view, I mean, he's the authority on it, so I have to agree with him. But I agree. I mean, the people who have paid and have demerit points, you have to be consistent. You have to expunge everything, and just start fresh with the demerit point system for everybody. I mean, I think that's how you have to deal with it, because that's only equitable. My thing is that, I understand the point about people who have paid, and, as Peter Phillips once said, the man who plays by the rules gets shafted, and that's how Jamaica operates. But from a practical point of view, I'm just thinking about if you were to fully enforce a law and have all these demerit points applied with people who have 500, 100 tickets and all of that, we could end up with a situation where we have no transportation system, not because people strike, but because the law is applied. And if you have even 30% of them coming off of the road, the JUTC cannot handle that capacity. And that's a travesty, I find, that we have run down our public transportation system so much that we have to rely on deviants. Interesting
discussion, gentlemen. We are out of time. Yeah. At least we have, I think, proven in many ways that this is an amnesty in essence. But what will be the outcome? Have a productive day and all the best for the season.
Right. Okay. God bless you.
Take care.
Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
Spread joy and peace this holiday and get ready to achieve all your plans in 2023. The Time by JN Group
We'll help you find a way.
is
Just about 7:31 on the Sound of Love 101, the family station.
you have a vision for your life.
You see yourself celebrating with family and friends, reflecting on the year and looking forward to your plans.
Plans for personal growth, business expansion, health, and happiness. Well, everything you want is within your reach.
At JN Group, we'll help you turn those visions into plans and wins you can celebrate.
That's what we mean when we say,
We'll help you find a way.
JN Group.
For all your carpet needs, come to the Carpet Store Limited. We do carpet cleaning, installation, custom rugs, and much more. We are the largest distributors of carpets in Jamaica. We also stock a wide variety of area rugs in different styles and sizes, such as wool, jute, and sisal, among others. Follow us on Instagram at @the_carpet_store or visit us at 18 Dumbarton Avenue, Kingston 10. You can call us at 876-649-0174. The Carpet Store Limited, because you deserve the best.
If you use music for any commercial purpose, you need a JCAP license.
Of course, and I benefit when my music is used commercially.
JCAP, the Jamaica Association of Composers, Authors and Publishers, protects the rights of its members and worldwide creators of musical works by issuing licenses for the use of these works.
If you use music for any commercial purpose,
you need a JCAP license.
Comply with the law.
Call JCAP at 948-5937 and 948-6439.
Get a JCAP license now.
Lord Keisha, you hear about the little girl we get shot in the community last week?
What do you mean?
I'm here say things are gonna get even crazy, I know, cause them boy they smuggling some new gun the other day.
If me could have said something without bad man hear about my name, I would have talked with me know a long time, you know. Cause for them foolishness always come back for hurt the innocent people in the community.
But you know, say, them have one program where you can actually give information to the police secretly, you know. Customs join up with Crime Stop and start one campaign named Tell Us. So people can give tips and nobody nothing know say them. Them all give out money if the reward lead to an arrest or them can find the gun them.
Boy, honestly, me kind of afraid, you know. But things can't continue, so me ready to tell them when me know.
You're right. We have to put a stop to it.
The Jamaica Customs Agency wants you to tell us what you know. Call Crime Stop at 311 to share information about illegal guns and other contraband coming through our borders. The Jamaica Customs Agency, country above self.
They're full of life. You're full of love. They're carefree, you care more. That's why we created Child Protector, a critical illness insurance plan from Sagicor Life. It provides coverage for your child in the event of 15 critical illnesses, hospitalization benefits, life insurance, and investment benefits. So make sure your child can live life to the fullest. Apply for Sagicor Child Protector today.
Big discounts are coming to town. It's the Santa Stick Christmas sale at Home and Things. Enjoy holiday savings on all your favorite tiles, bathroom fixtures and faucets, vanities, windows and doors, lighting, home decor, and more. Check out dazzling deals on new arrivals. Unwrap with discounts on all your festive finds at Home and Things. Old Hope Road and Constant Spring Road. It's a Santa Stick Christmas sale you don't want to miss at Home and Things this Christmas.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. In the Gleaner, occupants of Garvey's boyhood home happy for new houses. And we also see that there's a $50 million fund for information on gangs. In the Observer, Jamaican-born man appointed new Chief Justice of Ontario. Imagine that. And then the traffic cops tightening grip on lawlessness for Christmas. Well, that's good news. And in the Loop, same thing as was said in the Observer, $50 million fund established to get info on gangs planning to rob businesses. And then finally, in Luke News, Harvey Weinstein found guilty of rape in Los Angeles trial. Those are some of the major stories in our newspapers. Coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our social media question. What are your thoughts? Yes. What are your thoughts on this amnesty, not an amnesty debate? We're asking you to leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. We'll be right back.
Hey Campusites, we know you are ready to enjoy the break of the festive season. Speaking of break, after 32 episodes, Campus Connection season finale is here. Tune in to Campus Connection December 20 for our 2022 Rewind show, where we will highlight some of this year's top episodes as well as some top news stories. That's Campus Connection this Tuesday, December 20 at 5:30 p.m. with the hosts you've grown to love, Anesta Samuels and Jonathan Fletcher, right here on the family station, Love 101.
As the saying goes, everything changes. Fashions change, technology changes, there's climate change, and certainly the way we celebrate Christmas has changed. But has Christmas changed? We invite you to join Bible teacher Woodrow Kroll on Back to the Bible, Monday, December 19 through to Friday, December 23, as he takes us through the scriptures to see some of the things that are the same today as they were some 2,000 years ago when our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ was born. Some things have remained the same. Back to the Bible can be heard weekday afternoons at 12:30 right here on Love 101 FM, the family station.
Genesis is on and we're back outside. Join the in-person worship Sunday, January 1 at 5 p.m. at the Randy Williams Entertainment Center with DJ Nicholas Samuel Midas from Guyana, Kevin Downswell, Gotti, Petra K, and a whole heap more. Adults 2,500, pre-sold 3,000 at the gate. Children 12 and under 1,000 at the gate. VIP 5,000. Pay-per-view US $15 or 2,500 Jamaican. Tickets at St. Jago, Portmore Mall, Genus, and Pavilion Pharmacies. Music Mart and Brian's Bookstore. SpurOpen.com/Genesis 2023. Sponsored by Chase Funds, Kingston Wharves, Burger King, Holmes Hardware, Jamaica Stock Exchange, Love 101, Zomo International. Call 876-960-4830. MCs Nadine Blair, Markland Edwards, and Ella. Kingston Genesis Praise Fest 2023. Sunday, January 1 at 5 p.m. at the Randy Williams Entertainment Center. See what the Lord has done.
Sometimes all we need is a listening ear. The listening ear, the counseling, the logical reasoning, and spiritual guidance are what appeal to us. That's why I'm here. I'm Dr. Joan Pinkney, the counselor, your counselor on Love 101 FM, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 11 p.m. You know you can call on me. I will listen and more. So let's talk about what's bothering you. Anything. Tune in, listen, call in, text or voice message. I'm Dr. Joan Pinkney, counseling psychologist, ready with a listening ear, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 11 p.m. right here on the family station, Love 101 FM.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now join Jukal for a look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answered today's question. What are your thoughts on this amnesty, not an amnesty debate? Jukal?
All right, so there is one response. I do see a response on the Facebook line, and it is from Claudette Lambert. It says, a monster has been created. The operators involved are now in a position to hold the government at ransom, and the traveling public is caught in the middle. They will no longer pay their fines but will continue to breach the road traffic laws and regulations. Poor management and failure to effect and enforce the law of the land is the root of Jamaica's problem and overall indiscipline. That is from Claudette Lambert.
A monster has been created, she said.
Right.
All right. Thank you very much for reading that, Jokal. We want to thank Claudette for her response. Interesting comments there. Well, as we segue into the second watch, listeners, it's an established fact that many children will simply not thrive under the present formal education system. Some, since COVID, have not and perhaps will not return to the schools they left 2 years ago. And it's not necessarily because they are aged out, but because they have chosen to not return. And as a result, some are taken over by many negative influences. The JCF, however, has sought to address these concerns by establishing what is known as a cadet academy. And to discuss this initiative, we have joining us this morning DCP Richard Stewart, head of the JCF Administration and Support Services Portfolio, and the Reverend Courtney Richards, Global Missionary and Professor of Psychology. Good morning to you both and compliments of the season.
Good morning to you and good morning to your listeners. Richard Stewart.
Great, good to have you both. All right, DCP Stewart?
Yes, good morning.
Yes, yes, sir. What really is the JCF Cadet Academy? Why was it instituted, and what is its modus operandi?
All right, so the Jamaica Conservative Force Cadet Academy. We had a cadet program in the early 90s. It went dormant. And so we started the cadet program. Now the cadets are taken below the age of 18. And at the age of 18, I'm speaking about the traditional program. At the age of 18, they would be enlisted in the constabulary. But when we restarted the program, we made some alterations. And one of the alterations is that we included the C6 curricula so that when we take the children at the age of 15, they are at 16, they are about 16 to 18. We introduce them to 2 streams.
I'm sorry, you said 15 to 18 DCP or 16?
16.
Okay, good.
Yes, we introduced 2 streams. There's the traditional academic high school stream, which we expect students at age 16 they are about to do. And on completion of the C6, some are allowed to do CAPE. Currently we offer 4 subjects in CAPE, 4 modules of CAPE, and some undertake the NCT training model. And at the age of 18, then they are allowed to make a decision. Those who want to remain with us in the force, we allow them to remain in the force. Others have opted to leave for various reasons. So in general, that is the program in general. But there are some peculiarities, there are some differences from the traditional school program.
All right, tell you what, DCP, we're up on a break, and after the break, we will hear what you have to say on that. Okay.
deal of the season. At this season for give and this season for share. Juicy, I give we the deal of the year. Any four for your Christmas treat. 4 party 2 Coke, 1 great price. Your Z Juicy's any 4 deal is a real Christmas treat. Get any 4 party with 2 22-ounce Coca-Cola for just $1,150. Pick your favorite patty. Beef, chicken, veg, shrimp, or soy to the world. At this season for give and this season for share. Juicy, I give we the deal of the year. A Juicy and Coca-Cola promotion. For a limited time only, conditions apply.
Building your future, helping you everything that you do. We're in your corner, supporting you. I'm gonna keep my goals on track, keep moving up, no turning back. I got Sagicor Bank, Sagicor in my corner. Nothing's gonna stand up in my way. I'm moving to a brighter day with Sagicor Bank in my corner.
Let's give ourselves the best gift yet. Great mobile and internet. Value the whole year long. Garden Road's the best to get. Flow has savings just for you. Give great Christmas gifts, it's true. Samsung tablet for my boo. Samsung Phone 2. Our moments together with Flow Garden Road, it's better. This Christmas, Flow gives the best to you.
With Garden Road, get a Samsung tablet or a phone for just $999 plus GCT.
Flow gives the best to you.
Conditions apply.
Building your house and looking for everything in hardware from ground to roof? Save the hassle. It's Robinson and Sons Hardware, dedicated to giving you the best. Call Robinson and Sons Hardware 876-715-1724 or visit 18 West Palm Avenue, Port Antonio, Portland. If we don't have it, we'll get it for you. Robinson and Sons Hardware, Port Antonio, Portland, dedicated to giving you the best. 876-715-1724.
For 50 years, Under the Law has been helping you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. And we continue to do this in 2022. The program is brought to you on Tuesdays by the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. Grow smart, eat smart. Under the Law at 6:20 a.m., 2:35, 6:45, and 9:10 p.m. on Love 101 FM.
NIS Pensioners, the Ministry of Labor and Social Security reminds you to submit your completed life certificates to ensure continued payment of your NIS benefits. Remember to sign the life certificate and have it witnessed by any authorized person indicated on the life certificate before submitting it. For further information, contact the National Insurance Scheme 876-922-8000-14 or visit the ministry's website. The National Insurance Scheme, always working for you. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this, the second half of the second watch, we are looking at this cadet academy instituted by the JCF as a solution to the problem of disadvantaged youth within our society. And of course, it's that time of the year when we have more ads than usual. So continue to stick and stay with us. We have online DCP Richard Stewart, head of the Administration and Support Services Portfolio, the JCF, and the Reverend Courtney Richards, Global Missionary and Professor of Psychology. Before the break, DCP Stewart, you were telling us a little bit more about the academy. Please continue.
Okay, so I was suggesting that there are some differences from the traditional high school. So, for example, we are very strong on physical fitness. We are very strong on discipline. We have introduced a mentorship program where the youngsters, the boys generally find out that they are paired up with a mentor that offer them a particular kind of guidance. We ensure that there is a training and learning in terms of social skills, what we consider to be the required behavior, the acceptable behavior, and the type of behavior that will allow you in our mind to get through within the society. Also, as a part of the program, the youngsters are required to do some amount of work. They work in at various police offices, doing the kind of work that they are qualified for. Some are involved in data entry, receptionist, filing, that sort of thing. But the kind of thing that get them to understand what it means to be up at ease.
Sort of work experience type of thing.
That the work experience.
Great. Sounding good. Reverend Richards, what are your initial thoughts and concerns with this Cadet Academy?
Well, good morning to the listeners. Good morning to you. I think it is a wonderful idea because this is not just a pandemic issue, We've had these issues, and by the way, this is not just a Jamaican issue; it's a global issue with particularly males, and we're not focusing enough on it. I was listening intently to Deputy Commissioner Stewart to see if they're going to include things that I'm interested in: the mentoring, discipline, coaching aspects of the development of a child. Is what is largely missing. And our boys are particularly disadvantaged because of the lack of their fathers in their lives to help steer them in the right direction and to mentor them and groom them into the men that they're supposed to be. And so fall prey to these gang leaders and so on who become a father substitute. So I think it's a wonderful program. My concern is that it is too small a program. It is a program that needs. It is too small. We need more of it. I'm not blaming the police. I'm saying the police is trying, but I believe churches, other civic groups, other societal groups, NGOs need to take this on and invest in the lives of the development of these young people. I'll give you one example. I was just in Grenada recently. As you said, I'm a global missionary. So I was just in Grenada recently. And one of my mentees there told me of a story in which his church is near to an elementary school. And the principal, he goes there and visits the boys. Now, I teach what is called the 1 hour principle. The 1 hour principle is use 1 hour a week with at least one person and you change a life forever. Just 1 hour, because people tell me they don't have time. So I developed this principle. And so you mentor them for 1 hour. So he went there and the principal told him there are 15 boys. This is elementary school, 15 boys that she's going to expel because she can't manage them and they're giving so much trouble. And he said, hold on a minute, don't expel them. Give them to me. I'm going to spend 1 hour a week that my mentor, Courtney Richards, taught me. I'm going to spend 1 hour a week with these boys and let's see what happens. And for the rest of the school year, he mentored those boys 1 hour a week. And would you know it, 14 out of the 15 boys made it to high school. What's our problem? Could somebody tell me? What's our problem? We talk, but we don't come up with answers. He took 1 hour a week and transformed 14 of the 50. There's only one boy dropped out of the program. The other 14 made it into high school because of mentoring. So I'm very big on taking the mentoring. So I'm excited when I hear Deputy Commissioner talk about mentoring of these boys, because that is the kind of relationships that we need with the boys, where you get to understand the idiosyncrasies of their own individual situation and intervene at that level and not treat them as a group, but rather as individuals. And I'm also excited when he said 16 to 18, because the cohort group 15 to 25 is the largest group to commit crimes anywhere in the world, 15 to 25. Over 50% of all crimes are committed by that age group. And 90% of prisoners in the world are male. Over 90%. Some countries I go is 95, 96, 99% are male. And most of them said, over 80% said they have no good relationship with their fathers. So what's our problem? The diagnosis is there. The problem is that we're not treating the problem as the police is trying to do in a strategic way.
Reverend Richards, how would you respond, though, to the view that we have other groups that have been doing this over the years? For example, brigaders, cadets, scouts, guides, and yet still Jamaica has this problem, increasing problem in terms of crime and violence and waywardness among our young people, many of them.
I will respond to it this way because I've looked at that myself over the years. I've even recommended it. Let me go further. I've recommended that uniform groups be mandatory co-curricular involvement for our students. Mandatory. What is happening? When I went to school, I went to Manchester High School. When I went to school, people just volunteered to go to those groups. And over time, we have lost the kind of prestige, I'm using that word deliberately, the kind of prestige that cadetting and the scouting used to have. And then, of course, with allegations in America and proven with homosexuality, some of those people. So Jamaica being a highly homophobic society, we resist a lot of those things, but we don't require our students to be involved as part of the curriculum. Notice I say co-curricular, not extracurricular, co-curricular as part of that. And so the lack of a requirement is the problem. I talked to Ronald Thwaites when he was Minister of Education about mentoring students in our schools. And I said to him, how can we get that in all of government schools in Jamaica? And Mr. Thwaites said something very profound to me. He said, Reverend, if you can find people to mentor the students in schools in Jamaica, I will give you every school in Jamaica for mentoring. The problem is not cadetting or guiding or scouting. The problem is lack of people involved in these young people's lives. From churches right down, we are all responsible. We are all to be blamed. We abandon them to the misfits of society and the miscreants of society who then prey upon them. And then we turn around and say, them will give all the problem when we don't make any personal investment in their lives. I talked to, one last thing, I talked to a leading sportscaster some years ago, and I said to him, how can we get the coaches, because since our students love, especially the boys, love sports, let's get the coaches to mentor the boys, not just coach them to do football or whatever it is, but mentor them, a person where you're shaping their life. You know what he said to me? He said, Reverend, the coaches in Jamaica are not interested in mentoring their student athletes. They want to win competition. That's all that they are interested in.
Oh boy, DCP Stewart, I don't know if you have any comments on that, but on the matter of mentoring and persons volunteering their services, how can non-JCF persons, put it that way, be involved in this, or is it that it's just only members of JCF?
You mean specific to the mentorship program?
To the cadet academy.
All right. So what I never explained is that the difference between the scouting program that you spoke about now is that these cadets they are on the compound institutional. So we create a specific environment for them. So it's not as if they are there and then they are allowed to return into the environment from which we are trying to.
They've been living on the campus for a while.
Yes, they live on the campus on a while. So in terms of the mentorship, we have one-to-one peer counseling too. And I should point out that the person with responsibility for the mentorship program is a clinical psychiatrist rather, Dr. Leverage. And we are very selective in terms of the persons that we use to mentor the
so there's no scope for other civilians to come and be a part of this?
But I'm just saying yes, but I'm saying that it's going to there's a very stringent selection process. So
okay, understood.
Very stringent.
So can people volunteer? I mean, persons are listening. Do you have any numbers, any email address that they can call to see if they're qualified to be a part of this program?
Okay, all right. I'll give the number to you in a short while, where people could call in and inquire some more about the cadets.
Right. Okay.
I'll give you the contact.
Okay, right. So we'll get that to the studio operator. All right. I want to thank you both gentlemen for joining us. We're totally out of time. Informative, and we just wish all the best for this DCP, and of course, Reverend Richards, continue your good work that you're doing as a global missionary. Have a productive day.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you, listeners, for being with us. Join us again tomorrow as we continue to set the stage for discussion of topical and controversial issues. For information or to get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-959-627. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and our guests. I'm Dylan Toussaint, sending deep condolences to our own Vashti and her family. Be assured of our ongoing prayers for your strength, Vashti, as we hand you back to Love in the Morning with Jukal Daya.